we move to qualification. There is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Mike O'Hagan has a best lap time of 1:58.811. There are just over 170 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 170 minutes left in this practice session. Armin Sunoiler is on their practice out lap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Ascari Race Resort Full Circuit as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Puppy Dog from Hell posted a 6:03.817 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Megasaurus 55 is in Gasho. Chris Ilduke posted 228.002 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Megasaurus 55 is getting to grips with the Wolf GB08 in this practice session. There are just over 165 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 165 minutes left in this practice session. Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 2:11.395. Eddie G is on their first practice flying lap. With just 163 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Chris Ilduke posted a 2:11.395 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Armin Sunoiler is getting to grips with the Wolf GB08 in this practice session. Puppy Dog from Hell has a best lap time of 2:09.745. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:03.878. With just 161 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There are just over 160 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 160 minutes left in this practice session. Armin Sunoiler posted 2:02.736 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Puppy Dog from Hell has a best lap time of 2:09.745. Armin Sunoiler posted a 2:02.736 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 158 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 2:11.395. Megasaurus 55 posted 3:01.098 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Armin Sunoiler posted a 2:06.009 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 156 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There are just over 155 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 155 minutes left in this practice session. Richard Rossier is on their practice out lap. Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 2:11.395. It's a lovely day for racing here at Ascari Race Resort Full Circuit as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:02.490. Eddie G posted 2:04.507 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 152 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Armin Sunoiler posted a 2:26.655 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mike O'Hagan has a best lap time of 1:57.312. There are just over 150 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 150 minutes left in this practice session. Lars posted 3:49.514 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Puppy Dog from Hell has a best lap time of 2:05.350. With just 148 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:00.866. Chris Ilduke posted 3:54.017 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Richard Rossier is getting to grips with the Wolf GB08 in this practice session. Eddie G has a best lap time of 2:01.998. Puppy Dog from Hell posted at 8:51.487 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There are just over 145 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 145 minutes left in this practice session. With just 144 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Lars posted 2:03.819 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 2:11.395. Lars posted a 2:02.939 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Chris Ilduke has a best lap time of 2:11.395. Lars posted 2:02.939 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Let's get this qualifying session underway here at Ascari Race Resort Full Circuit. You can feel the tension building. Megasaurus 55 is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Megasaurus 55 handles it.
The adrenaline is pumping. Chris Duke is on their out lap, warming up the tyres and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. This is where the mental game comes into play. Puppy Dog from Hell is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Mike O'Hagan is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Megasaurus 55 is on their out lap.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Megasaurus 55 has completed their out lap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Lars has completed their out lap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Chris Duke has completed their out lap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. It's clear that Armin Sunoiler is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit.
Absolutely. Armin Sunoiler is showing the world what they're made of.
The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Richard Rossier is rising to the occasion. Richard Rossier has completed their first flying lap in 1:59.551. You can feel the tension building. Mike O'Hagan is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
This is the moment they've been preparing for.
Mike O'Hagan has completed their outlap. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Puppy Dog from Hell is nailing both. Puppy Dog from Hell has just completed that lap in 2:03.572. Their best lap so far is 2:03.572. Putting them in P7. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? I don't know about you, but I think Megasaurus 55 might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
Looks like Megasaurus 55 is really cooking with gas out there today.
Time to bring out the marshmallows and let's toast some fuel. Megasaurus 55 will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session. Lars is on their first flying lap. Lars has just completed a lap in 2:01.109. Let's see if they can improve on the time further. Looks like Armin Sunoiler is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there.
Is it just me or does it feel like we're watching?
Armin Sunoiler will be happy having put themselves into fourth in this qualifying session. Woohoo, Lars is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go.
Well, Rob, it seems like Lars has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
Lars has completed their first flying lap in 2:01.109. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Eddie G going at lightning speed. Someone call the fire department, because Mike O'Hagan is setting this track on fire with their performance. Mike O'Hagan will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session. Looks like Richard Rossier is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there. Richard Rossier will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Woohoo! Armin Sunoiler is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go. Armin Sunoiler will be happy having put themselves into fourth in this qualifying session. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Lars going at lightning speed.
I think we might need to start calling Lars the Flash after that incredible lap time. What do you think, Rob?
It's a masterclass from Mike O'Hagan in this qualification session. They have stamped their authority on the track, setting the pace and currently leading the pack. It's an outstanding performance, and they are making their intentions clear for the race ahead. Impressive work from Armin Sunoiler, who has claimed fourth on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position.
Absolutely, Rob. Armin Sunoiler has put in a remarkable effort to secure fourth. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
A strong showing from Eddie G as they currently sit in sixth. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
You're spot on, Rob. Eddie's current position of sixth is a testament to their skills and determination. Now, they face the challenge of maintaining their position against hungry rivals.
Eddie G has some work to do as the 202.572 is only good enough for 6th. Currently in 8th, Chris Ilduke has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. A solid qualifying performance by Wayne Pearson, positioning them in 9th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
I completely agree, Rob. Wayne Pearson has positioned themselves impressively in 9th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
What a performance from Chris Ilduke. They currently occupy 8th on the grid. Can they maintain this strong position and secure a favourable? Chris Ilduke has completed their outlap. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Ascari Race Resort Full Circuit as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Rob.
Mike O'Hagan will have the best seat in the house starting from pole position.
But they can't afford to get complacent. They will have a target on their back now.
On the second grid slot we have Megasaurus 55.
And like many others, they are starting the race on the medium's tire compound.
And in third place, we have Richard Rossier.
A strong grid position, and they'll be expecting a solid result today.
Armin Sunoiler is going to be starting from 4th.
Another good start for the German driver.
The 5th position is occupied by Lars.
What can they do with that Wolf GB08 from here?
Eddie G will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 6th on the grid.
They'll be looking for a clean race.
The 7th starting position belongs to Puppy Dog from Hell, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
It's the medium's tires for Puppy Dog from Hell.
Chris Ilduke is placed in 8th.
Lining up in the mid-pack.
As the engines roar to life, Wayne Pearson prepares to take off from the 9th position on the starting grid. And that's the race underway. Some very quick reactions there.
This opening stretch, it's like walking on eggshells. Gotta weave and dodge, all while keeping your foot on the gas.
The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one. The drivers are jockeying for position. Richard Rossier will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position.
The first lap can always be a bit of a bun fight as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
Having started in 2, Megasaurus 55 will be looking to establish themselves in this race. I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Ascari Race Resort Full Circuit, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on. It's brilliant to see such a full grid here today. These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race.
I am so excited at the prospects for this race. I can't wait to see the drama unfold.
The tension is palpable here. No one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
Like gladiators, they enter Rob, but instead of lions and swords, our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Every move counts now as Richard Rossier works to reel in Lars and overtake for P3. Richard Rossier is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Lars to 0.7 seconds. Hold on to your hats, folks. Chris Ilduke is right on the heels of Wayne Pearson, and we're in for a wild ride. Stone the Crows. Chris Ilduke's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round at the pub waiting. Hello, 7th. No room for error here. Puppy Dog from Hell is breathing down the neck of Wayne Pearson, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. It's looking good for Puppy Dog from Hell, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Wayne Pearson. Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are going to need to look after their tires and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tires wear and fuel levels deplete and the handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
Crikey, Puppy Dog from Hell's got a gap ahead as vast as the Simpson Desert. The bloke's really got to pull up his socks to close the chasm.
Sure as sugar. Down in Carolina, we'd say they're trailing like a turtle in a rabbit race.
This is edge-of-the-seat stuff. Richard Rossier is relentlessly hunting down Lars, who'll blink first.
There's a razor-thin line between glory and disaster, and both drivers are dancing right on it.
The gap between Mike O'Hagan and Megasaurus 55 may be wide, but that doesn't mean Mike O'Hagan is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
That's right, and Megasaurus 55 knows that they have to keep pushing hard and driving their own race. They can't let Mike O'Hagan off the hook.
Mike O'Hagan's pushing harder than a kangaroo in a boxing match, widening their lead over Megasaurus 55. They've found their rhythm like a didgeridoo player in full swing.
Mike O'Hagan's looking tougher to pass than a kidney stone, driving with the authority of a southern sheriff.
Richard Rossier is running fourth. They are trying to catch Lars. Hold on a second, looks like Lars is testing the off-road capabilities of their ride.
Ascari Race Resort Full Circuit is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
You'd reckon Lars was tracing the shadows of ancient Dreamtime stories with that sprawling distance ahead. It's a trek that rivals the tales of old bunyip chasers.
Feels like they're chasing moonshine dreams in broad daylight, doesn't it, Euro-T it? But every now and then, the dream becomes real. You know, in Carolina, we say the sun sets slow but dreams light up fast. Paria Euro S hoping Lars finds that spark before the final lap.
It may seem like Megasaurus 55 is far behind, but Mike O'Hagan can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Megasaurus 55 an opening to catch up.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the equation, Megasaurus 55 can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
Struth, Mike O'Hagan's driving like Dave's. Breaking news, folks, maybe Chris Ilduke's got a drop bear in the cockpit cause that move was bonkers. Chris Ilduke is placed 7th at the moment. This race is proving to be, wow, such an exciting one so far. We're privileged, aren't we, watching these track legends duke it out.
And sitting next to you, such an honor. AI.
As we're getting ready to kick things off.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
The starting flag has been waved, and the battle on the track begins. The opening lap is always intense, with drivers vying for an early advantage.
This is where the real racecraft comes into play. The drivers will be looking for any opportunity to make a move and gain an advantage.
It's all about finding those gaps and making the most of them, especially in these early stages of the race.
And with so many talented drivers on the grid, you know we're going to see some incredible overtakes here in the first sector.
It's not just about making a move, it's about doing it cleanly and without causing any incidents. Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Puppy Dog from Hell in 7th and Chris Ilduke. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.9 seconds. Heartbreak for Puppy Dog from Hell as they slip down the field. The opening lap is always intense.
But there's still plenty of race left. Puppy Dog from Hell needs to stay calm and focused, and make their move when the time is right.
It's as if Lars is navigating the vast, cryptic verses of Banjo Patterson, aiming for a poetic conclusion, but caught in the mesmerizing cadence.
Down here, at a Euro S like they're trying to strum a ballad with an out-of-tune banjo, but the last note can still ring true.
It's game on now. Lars has closed the gap to Eddie G. It's now down to 1.7 seconds.
This is where the race gets really exciting. Both drivers will be pushing to the limit to gain the advantage.
Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
Ha ha, I don't think that's how it works. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for a cup of tea and a chat? We could have a lovely little race reunion.
This is what racing is all about. Breaking news, folks, I don't think that's the fastest way around Ascari Race Resort full circuit. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Puppy Dog from Hell's inching ever closer to Chris Ilduke. Kangaroo on a trampoline. What a move. Looks like Chris Ilduke is legging it from Puppy Dog from Hell. The gap's growing like a well. Breaking alert, by the looks of it, Eddie G reckoned Ascari Race Resort full circuit had a hidden shortcut. Too bad there isn't one.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 14 kph out there right now.
The battle for 7 is heating up as Puppy Dog from Hell tries to catch Chris Ilduke in P7. Crikey. Puppy Dog from Hell is losing touch with Chris Ilduke quicker than a kangaroo on a trampoline. What a move. Puppy Dog from Hell has moved up to 7th.
It's like Puppy Dog from Hell had an extra shot of espresso or something, jetting up to 7th.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there. Hold on a second. Looks like Chris Ilduke is testing the off-road capabilities of their ride. If racing were a dance, Armin Sunoiler would be trying to lead, but Lars just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up.
That's right. Armin Sunoiler in 6th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Lars is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
A strong showing from Puppy Dog from Hell, who is currently 7th.
They're not just driving, they're performing. And right now, Puppy Dog from Hell's act from 7th is worth an encore.
Puppy Dog from Hell is giving a masterclass out there, but will overconfidence be their downfall?
Indeed, Rob, pride comes before a fall. Let's see if Chris Ilduke can capitalize on any mistake. You said it, Rob, with great power comes great responsibility. But sometimes, these drivers forget that and let their egos take the wheel. Let's hope they keep their eyes on the road and not on their own reflections in the mirror.
It looks like Armin Sunoiler is pushing hard to catch up to Lars. The gap is over a second, but Armin Sunoiler is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Lars? The gap between Armin Suneuler and Lars is getting smaller. The age-old challenge. Richard Rossier is trying to catch Megasaurus 55, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks. Well, don't come the raw prawn. Richard Rossi is giving it some stick, pulling Megasaurus 55 into a mere 12.7 seconds.
Now, ain't that something? Richard Rosier is right on it. Just needs to keep the pedal to the metal to tailgate Megasaurus 55.
Braking development. Looks like Wayne Pearson tried the old dingo stole my race line trick, a tad too clever by half.
Wayne Pearson is not going to be happy about that.
It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Wayne Pearson NAB it from Chris Duke? The race is heating up as Megasaurus 55 in second closes in on Mike O'Hagan. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Watching Wayne Pearson try to close the gap on Chris Duke is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes. It looks like Wayne Pearson is making a move. The gap to Chris Duke is now down to 189.2 seconds. These engines aren't just humming for fun, they're thirstier than an Aussie after a game of cricket in the sun.
Cricket? That's like baseball with longer games, right? Anyway, these engines do have a roar that can rival any muscle car back home.
This is edge of the seat stuff. Lars is relentlessly hunting down Eddie G. Who'll blink first? It seems like Lars is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Lars refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
You can feel the focus radiating from Puppy Dog from Hell, confidently holding on to the 7th.
You're right. Every gear shift, every turn counts. Puppy Dog from Hell knows the weight of that 7th.
Buckle up, Hal. Chris Duke is cutting into Puppy Dog from Hell's lead like a hot knife through butter. It's now down to 5.0 seconds. I'm curious, Hal, can you tell us about any pre-race rituals you had when you were racing?
Of course, Rob. Before every race, I would listen to a specific playlist of songs to help me get in the zone. I also had a lucky pair of socks that I would wear during races. It may sound silly, but those little rituals help me feel prepared and focused.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. An impressive showing from Lars, who has gained positions and left Eddie G in the dust.
Absolutely, Rob. But there's still a long way to go in this race, and Lars can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Eddie G trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Armin Suneuler. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Eddie G in 6th determined to catch up. But we know Armin Suneuler isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Eddie G is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and Chris Duke is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Puppy Dog from Hell to bring Chris Duke into play. This is where the true champions shine, and Mike O'Hagan is certainly showing their class in the final sector.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Mike O'Hagan has certainly risen to the occasion.
It's all over. Mike O'Hagan has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now.
And that's why Mike O'Hagan is one of the best in the business. A dominant display of driving from start to finish, leaving the rest of the pack in the dust.
Megasaurus 55 never gave up, they drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish. What a race from Richard Rossier, showing their skill and determination for a great third-place finish. In fourth, it's Lars. Taking fifth is Armin Suneuler. Coming in sixth we have Eddie G. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Ascari Race Resort Full Circuit as we're getting ready to get things underway. Eddie G has got the inside track starting from pole position. Taking off from the second grid slot is the skilled driver Armin Suneuler. Lars will look to make a splash from the third position on the starting grid.
Could we see a podium result from Lars?
Richard Rossier lines up in fourth place as the engines rev and the race begins.
Big things expected for Richard Rossier today.
We're seeing Megasaurus 55 in the 5th spot.
Mike O'Hagan is 6th. Puppy Dog from Hell has qualified 7th. On the 8th grid slot we have Chris Ilduke.
Chris Ilduke is going to show us something special, I'm sure of it.
Lining up in 9th is Wayne Pearson. Off they shoot, the race has found its cadence. Now, amongst this kinetic poetry, which driver will craft the most compelling first verse?
Every inch counts right now. One wrong wiggle and they'll be singing the blues.
As we watch the drivers fight it out in the first lap, I can already feel that this is going to be an epic race.
I'm looking forward to burning some rubber here, Rob.
There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start. Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
I am so excited at the prospects for this race. I can't wait to see the drama unfold.
Having started in 5, Megasaurus 55 will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
Like gladiators they enter Rob, but instead of lions and swords our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Establishing an early advantage will be crucial to the outcome of this race.
Let's hope they all brought their games today.
The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage?
The race isn't won in the first turn, but there have been plenty that have ended their Rob.
We got a close battle as Richard Rosier closes in on Megasaurus 55.
With the way Richard Rosier is stalking Megasaurus 55, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
Richard Rossi is giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Megasaurus 55. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. With every twist and turn, Puppy Dog from Hell is shadowing Chris Duke, waiting to pounce like a lion on the hunt. It's a close race between Lars and Armin Suneuler in first. Racing isn't always about the flash and dazzle, and Lars proves it. Smooth as silk and holding fort right where they are.
Consistency is key in racing. Lars just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
These drivers, top-notch athletes. It's not just about being quick. They've got stamina, reflexes, braking development. Maybe Mike O'Hagan's got a drop bear in the cockpit, cause that move was bonkers.
Ascari Race Resort Full Circuit is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
The race is really heating up. Megasaurus 55 is hunting down Armin Suneuler with everything they've got. Great driving from Megasaurus 55, who has just breaking news, folks, looks like that's a mistake from Armin Suneuler. This could be costly.
Lord have mercy. Armin Suneuler must have seen a ghost or thought they spotted Bigfoot. That was one wild turn.
It's like watching a cheetah chase its prey. Lars has got Richard Rosier in their crosshairs. The gap between Lars and Richard Rosier is widening. It's now up to 0.6 seconds. This is going to be a nail-biter. Richard Rosier is defending for their life, but Lars is right there. Can they do it? Richard Rossi is pushing harder than. Hold up, breaking info. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Richard Rosier, who is currently in P2, but Megasaurus 55 is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Richard Rosier.
Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Megasaurus 55's favorite song? Maybe Richard Rosier can play it to distract them and close that gap. Just a thought.
It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Richard Rossier and Megasaurus 55. The crowd is on tenterhooks as Mike O'Hagan in fifth, breaking development. Well, if it isn't Chris Ilduke, the wild wallaby of the track, hopping right off the tarmac.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race they'd been looking at a decent result.
Hollywood couldn't script this better. Richard Rossier's shadowing Megasaurus 55, waiting for the slightest misstep. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Armin Sunoiler is breathing down the neck of Lars, not giving them any room to relax. Armin Sunoiler is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Lars at the moment. The tension is building as Richard Rossier trails behind Megasaurus 55. The gap is slowly but surely Megasaurus 55 hold on, or will Richard Rossier be able to close them down? It's not coming up roses for Richard Rossier. They're trailing Megasaurus 55 and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Mike O'Hagan is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Armin Sunoiler.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Mike O'Hagan is really walking that tightrope.
The gap between Mike O'Hagan and Armin Sunoiler is fading faster than the last rays of the outback sun.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
The excitement is palpable. This is going to be a race for the ages.
The drivers are executing their strategies to perfection, making the most of every opportunity. This is what top-level racing is all about.
The crowd is on its feet as Mike O'Hagan chases down Armin Sunoiler through Sebring.
This is what separates the good from the great. The ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
Mike O'Hagan has just put in a faster lap than Armin Sunoiler, so that's going to give them something to worry about.
We'll have to see if Armin Sunoiler has got any answers for that.
I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Mike O'Hagan's just breezed into fourth.
You know, back in Carolina, we say, go big or go home. Looks like Mike O'Hagan took that to heart, hitting fourth.
Armin Sunoiler wants to close the gap with Mike O'Hagan. While Mike O'Hagan is not under immediate threat from Armin Sunoiler, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the mother-in-law's, Armin Sunoiler can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
Struth, Mike O'Hagan's driving like they've stolen it, putting some serious distance between themselves and Armin Sunoiler. Is there anything left in Armin Sunoiler's tank?
Well, butter my biscuit. Mike O'Hagan is holding the reins tight, ain't giving Armin Sunoiler a chance to get ahead.
The gap between Richard Rossier in second and Megasaurus 55 remains over a second, but Richard Rossier is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 10 minutes?
When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again. But Richard Rossier, keep pushing.
Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Mike O'Hagan is sniffing around Lars like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of third. Stone the Crows. Mike O'Hagan's on fire, surging ahead like there's a free round at the pub waiting. Hello, third.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Mike O'Hagan's charging like a bull in a china shop. Welcome to third, cowboy.
As a former racing driver, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tire degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Rob. Tire degradation can change the car's balance and handling, so drivers need to be versatile and adaptable. It requires continuous adjustments to driving techniques and a keen understanding of the car's behavior.
Everyone's on the edge of their seats, or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Puppy Dog from Hell is getting closer to Chris Duke, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel.
Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where Puppy Dog from Hell is trying to whip up a winning dish, but Chris Duck keeps hiding the main ingredient.
Hang on to your cork hats, mates, we're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Puppy Dog from Hell and Chris Duke.
This here's where the steel meets the pavement. Both drivers got to keep their cool if they're looking to take the checkered flag.
Eddie G is giving it their all as they chase down Puppy Dog from Hell in P7. Bloody oath, Eddie G is flat out like a lizard drinking, gnawing into the gap to Puppy Dog from Hell down to a scant 0.4 seconds. As they speed through Sebring, Puppy Dog from Hell. It looks like Puppy Dog from Hell is in control. They're ahead of Eddie G by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon. The intensity is off the charts as Eddie G hounds Puppy Dog from Hell, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
Boy,
is it just me or?
Nah, mate, Richard Rossier really just took the scenic route through the outback of Ascari Race Resort full circuit. Crikey.
Well, slap my head and call me silly. Richard Rossier just made a doozy of a blunder.
As they speed through Sebring, Puppy Dog from Hell is relentlessly pursuing Eddie G in a high-stakes battle for position. Now, this is a challenging position for Puppy Dog from Hell, stuck between a rock and a hard place, with Wayne Pearson closing in 0.1 seconds behind and Eddie G just ahead with a gap of 0.2 seconds.
I'm on the same page, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind provide valuable context to understand the challenges faced by Puppy Dog from Hell. It's a constant juggling act, and they need to seize the right moment to gain an advantage.
Anyone who says that AssettoCorsaFriends is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
Looks like Lars is trying to chase down Armin Sunoiler, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results. That won't be ideal for Lars.
Feels like Lars's car turned into a stubborn mule for a second there at Ascari Race Resort full circuit.
The chase music's playing in Armin Sunoiler's head as they reel in Lars, moment by nail-biting moment.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Armin Sunoiler should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Lars.
A great pass for Armin Sunoiler as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Lars has lost ground. You Americans have your drive-thrus. Here, Chris Duke's trying to make this a drive past on Eddie G.
Well, let's see if they can supersize that pass, or if they'll just get a side of disappointment. The stopwatch doesn't lie, and the shrinking gap is telling a tale of a hunter closing in on its prize.
Blimey, Mike O'Hagan's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest.
Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch. One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Mike O'Hagan needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
Struth, Mike O'Hagan's not here to muck about. The gap to Megasaurus 55 is dropping faster than a hot pie at the footy, now at 0.6 seconds.
Exactly what Mike O'Hagan needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Megasaurus 55.
Every gear shift, every pedal push, Chris Duke's got one goal in mind, capturing Eddie's spot.
In this high-speed game of chess, it's all about strategy. Who will make the next move?
Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Chris Duke, lagging behind Eddie G and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. It's a game of inches now as Mike O'Hagan tails Megasaurus 55 closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
If Mike O'Hagan isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine, and trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
It's pedal to the metal for Mike O'Hagan, while Megasaurus 55's still flipping through the radio channels.
Higher.
Mate, Megasaurus 55's right up Mike O'Hagan's chuff. As they zip through Center S, we're all expecting some fireworks. With a move that's swift, I'd say Megasaurus 55's running on high octane, and maybe a bit of Aussie spirit.
Yes, Megasaurus 55 is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
It's an intense battle for position as Mike O'Hagan tries to outmaneuver Megasaurus 55. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
The chase between Mike O'Hagan and Megasaurus 55 is like a high-speed game of tag only. The stakes are much higher.
Puppy Dog from Hell could be looking for a way up the inside of Chris Duke. Oh, the pressure is on for Puppy Dog from Hell. Trapped between Wayne Pearson 0.1 seconds away and Chris Duke just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds. They must defend their position while seeking a Mike O'Hagan needs to get more consistent. Hell, they have just put in a slower lap than Megasaurus 55. Good news for Mike O'Hagan, the gap to Megasaurus 55 has decreased. It's now down to 0.1 seconds.
This is where the pressure really starts to build. Both drivers will need to stay calm and focused if they want to come out on top.
Fantastic move from Mike O'Hagan, who has just gained a position. This is what it's all about, folks. Richard Rossier is in hot pursuit of Megasaurus 55, who's just trying to stay ahead. Blimey, Richard Rossier's shifted gears and the results are clear. Cruising up to second just like that. Big gains for Richard Rossier as they move up the field, leaving Megasaurus 55 behind. On the final lap now, and Richard Rossier looks like they might just wrap up this win. The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for Richard Rossier. Megasaurus 55 takes second place with a fantastic race. What a race from Mike O'Hagan. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium. Fourth is Lars. Armin Sunoiler brings home fifth. Eddie G end in sixth.